Welcome to Light Overheat with Professor David Yamani. I'm excited that my Sociology of Guns public webinar launches in less than 2 weeks. Today, I want to give you some highlights of the course and also a sneak peek at the syllabus. Please excuse my casual attire. We're actually on spring break this week here at Wake Forest, which isn't really a break for me, but just an opportunity to get caught up on some things. And one thing that I've spent a lot of time this week doing is getting ready for my Sociology of Guns public webinar that launches on March 25th. So let me start this video with a few bullet points to get you up to speed on what the course is about. And then for those interested, I'll give you a brief walkthrough of what the syllabus is going to look like. So among the important bullet points, in the show description here on YouTube, you will find a link to Zoom webinars where you can register for the course. Now, the course is currently capped at 500 students. I don't know whether I have the capacity to increase that cap, but at this point, the course is half full. So if you're interested, there's no cost to the course. Go ahead and drop your registration in there. There's no tuition. It is a free public webinar that I'm offering as a public service to those who over the years have said that they were interested in what I'm doing in my Sociology of Guns course that I teach at Wake Forest. So no monetization here, there's no tuition, there's no college credit. This is a public service I'm offering, and you can take it out of your interest in learning more about the complex reality of guns in American society. There is a syllabus in which I have both kind of core and suggested readings for each weekly seminar, but there's no homework. There's no way for me to hold you accountable for whether you did the reading or not. Some of the readings are academic works and are actually quite complex, but the idea here is just to give you an idea of what empirical materials and what research the course is based in. So I'll be hopefully explaining everything that you need to know in the context of the webinars as I'm lecturing, but if you want to do the reading, I sort of lay that out for you. The course is being offered synchronously or live, synchronous being the online education term du jour. It's being offered live on Mondays from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. on Eastern Time. The course runs from March 25th through May 6th. If you cannot attend the live sessions, any of them or some of them, every session will be recorded and distributed to everyone who has registered for the webinar. So again, if you're interested in the webinar, even if you can't attend, you can attend, as we say, asynchronously or at your convenience by watching the videos. Now, there are a lot of ways to slice the Sociology of Guns pie. The way that I am organizing this 7-week webinar is according to this classic work called 10 Essential Observations on Guns in America, written by sociologist James Wright in 1995. So this work is almost 30 years old now, and my idea in structuring this webinar is to go through a couple of his observations each class session and sort of compare what he was seeing in 1995 to what we see today. And again, I will, after this blurb right now, I will go through and look at the syllabus in somewhat greater detail so you can see what this is going to look like practically speaking. So if you're interested in the details of the syllabus, stay tuned. That's forthcoming in this video. But for now, also please, if you know anyone who is a gun enthusiast, a gun skeptic, or just gun curious who might be interested in learning more about this complex reality of guns in American society, please recommend this webinar to them. Again, there's no tuition cost. There's no need to attend the sessions live. It's being offered as a public service, and the more people who take advantage of that service, the better I'll feel about putting this time and effort into the course. And if you have any questions about what the course is going to do, what your involvement might be, please let me know. Drop a question in the comments here on YouTube, or you can reach out to me on any of my other various social medias. If you're interested in more details about the syllabus, stay right where you are. I'm going to march you through that in a moment. Okay, so if you go to the link in the YouTube description of this video, you will find a link to my public webinar syllabus. That will take you to my author homepage, and you'll hopefully see something like what you're seeing on the screen right now. The title of the course, the 10 Essential Observations on Guns in America, otherwise known as the Sociology of Guns. The meeting time, very important. Use the registration link right here in order to get in. Again, the cap is 500. I don't know whether I can increase that cap or if it's even necessary. There is a printable version of the syllabus. I have to say, I don't know how to do a public webinar. All I know how to do is teach, what I've been doing for 30 years as a college professor. So when I thought about doing a public webinar, I created a syllabus. It's just what I do. If you actually want to download a PDF version of the syllabus, you can do that, but it's essentially what you're seeing here on this screen. This is my overview. I'd say my broad overview of my approach to guns in American society is to embrace the complexity of guns. Of course, I will start with my idea that guns are normal and normal people use guns, but there's much more to guns beyond that. And I think that's one of the things that really James Wright brings out in this classic essay, 10 Essential Observations on Guns in America. He tries to look at guns in a sort of different way than the dominant way of looking at guns, and also in a very nuanced way. And hopefully the webinar will capture that, whether, again, you're a gun enthusiast, whether you're a gun skeptic, or whether you're just gun curious. I hope there's something for everyone in this course. Right. Learning objectives here on the syllabus, I'll let you look at those. And again, some of the important notes in terms of it's being offered as a public service, there's no tuition, et cetera, et cetera. So, hopefully I have made those aspects of the course fairly clear. So this is what the course schedule looks like, right? We're trying to cram an incredible amount of material into just 7 weeks. And so by comparison, the course that I teach at Wake Forest is a 15-week long course, which we get about 12 substantive weeks out of with the other work that we have to do. But the course is also 2.5 hours long every week. So, we're going from 12 weeks of 2.5 hours to 7 weeks of about an hour. And I don't even know that I'll lecture for a full hour in each of these weekly modules, or, maybe present for 20 or 30 minutes and then spend the other half an hour answering questions. I haven't developed this curriculum. I've talked about various elements of this curriculum in the past, but what I'll be presenting in the webinar is brand new. What you'll have an opportunity to experience is something that I've never done before. So, I'm both excited about that, but also ask in advance for your patience as I figure out how to make this public webinar as useful as possible for as many people as possible. So, again, 7 modules. Each one I kind of pair to what I think are topics either that I personally engage or do research on, as well as things that are relevant to what scholars who study guns are currently doing. Guns are normal. Normal people use guns. Gun culture 2.0 and the concealed carry revolution. Obviously, those are straight out of my approach to the sociology of guns. Module 4 is a bit of a transition because we kind of look at the issue of defensive gun use and also what I call the standard model of the irrationality of defensive gun ownership, which is the dominant approach to understanding defensive gun culture among scholars. And again, here, this is sort of what I do as a scholar. I don't just present what I think and I know, but I also try to engage what all other scholars working in the area think and know. Modules 5 and 6 sort of look at some of the downsides of guns, criminal defensive gun ownership, and illegal gun markets on Module 5. And then looking at how do we understand gun violence and also gun violence prevention strategies in Module 6. And then Module 7 is a sort of big picture take homes. But what you'll notice is that each of these modules is a link. So if you want to click on the link for each module, it will load, hopefully, a page for each module that gives just a bit about background, not too much, but shows which of James Wright's 10 observations we're engaging in that module. So here in the first module, what I'm calling guns are normal, normal people use guns, an idea that was heavily influenced by James Wright. His first observation is that half the households in the country own at least one gun. And his second observation that there are 200 million guns already in circulation in the United States, give or take a few tens of millions. So, this first session, I'll provide for you to read every one of these sources. It links out to a particular reading, or in a few cases, a website or a video. But you can look at James Wright's very short essay. You can read my thoughts on guns being normal, and then we can look at some of the better surveys of American gun owners to give us an idea of what percentage of Americans own how many guns, right? So this is, really important material to cover in that opening module. And then again, in this case, I give you some supplemental resources here to Randy Mian, his work on the anthropological normality of projectile weaponry, which, kind of forms the basis for my ideas about the cultural and social normality of gun ownership today. But again, every week or every module will look sort of the same. You'll be able to see what the topic is. You'll be able to see what James Wright observations will be engaging. There'll be some core resources and some supplemental resources. Now, as I said at the start of this video, there's no expectation that you will actually sort of do the readings and come to class, quote unquote, ready to discuss them. You can do this webinar just fine without looking at any of these materials. It's my job as the host and presenter of the webinar to explain what those works say. But if you do want to read those materials, either the core or the supplemental materials, and if you want to ask questions based on those, that's certainly more than welcome.